One morning, everything looks exactly the same, but nothing feels the same. She's in the kitchen, making breakfast like always. Same routine, same smile, but behind that smile, something's gone quiet. You can't explain it, but you feel it in your gut, a distance, a tension, a silence that wasn't there before. Then it begins. New clothes, new makeup, a new gym membership. She starts saying things like, "I just need to feel like myself again." She laughs at her phone, hides the screen when you walk in, and suddenly she's too busy, too tired, too distracted. You tell yourself it's nothing, she's just going through a phase. But deep down, you know that's a lie. Because this isn't a phase, it's a shift. What you're witnessing isn't random, it's biological, psychological, and cultural all at once. It's the moment a woman realizes that the world doesn't look at her the way it used to, and she can't accept it. That realization hits harder than any heartbreak you've ever felt. This isn't about another man, not yet. It's about the mirror and what she sees when she looks into it. Every man thinks he'll see it coming, but trust me, when this shift happens, it's already too late to stop it. Most men think women just change. They don't. It's not a choice, it's a chemical storm. There's a biological time bomb inside every woman, and somewhere between 35 and 45, it starts ticking louder. Here's what they don't teach you in school. A woman's brain isn't static. Her hormones, estrogen, progesterone, dopamine, oxytocin all start shifting. The chemicals that once made her feel alive, desired, magnetic, begin to fade. And when that chemistry changes, so does her perception of herself. Estrogen drops, mood regulation drops, dopamine, the molecule of feeling wanted, goes quiet. So she tries to wake it up. That's why she starts craving attention, excitement, risk. It's not vanity, it's survival. Her body's screaming, "I need to feel alive again." Think of it like this. You've been driving the same car for 20 years. Suddenly, the engine starts making noises you've never heard before. You don't know what's breaking, but you know something is. That's what's happening inside her, but emotionally. Society tells her she's still young, still beautiful, still has time. Biology whispers the opposite. That whisper becomes panic, and panic makes people do reckless things. You can't fix this with compliments. You can't fix it with logic. Because you're not fighting her mind, you're fighting her biology. Every woman feels that ticking clock, but some learn to face it. Others try to outrun it. And when she tries to outrun biology, she doesn't just run from age, she runs from you. If you've seen this shift in someone you love or lived it yourself, drop your story in the comments. Sometimes the hardest truths are the ones we only understand when we share them. When that biological shift hits, something far deeper begins to crumble her sense of who she is. For most women, identity isn't built on achievement or logic. It's built on feeling desired. From the moment she was a teenager, the world rewarded her beauty. Compliments were currency. Attention was proof of worth. For 20 years, she's lived inside that invisible contract. I'm valuable because I'm wanted. But one day, she wakes up and the world stops looking back. The stares fade, the compliments slow, the reflection in the mirror no longer matches the image in her mind. And suddenly, the foundation of her identity, the thing that made her feel real, begins to crack. This isn't insecurity, this is collapse. Imagine a soldier who's defined his whole life by battle, and one day the war ends. Who is he now? That's her. The validation that once built her up is gone, and in its place comes silence, a silence that feels like death. So she starts rebuilding herself from the outside in. New clothes, new hair, new body, anything to feel that spark again. But no matter what she does, it never feels enough. Because she's chasing a ghost, the younger version of herself the world once celebrated. That's not vanity, that's identity collapse. And when a woman's identity starts to collapse, the life around her soon follows. It always starts with a mirror. Not a big event, not another man, just her, standing alone in front of that reflection she's seen 1,000 times. But this time, something hits different. The woman staring back isn't the one she remembers. Her eyes look tired, Her skin doesn't glow the same. The curve of her face has changed. And in that split second, she feels something most men will never understand: grief. It's not about losing beauty, it's about losing identity. The mirror becomes a battlefield between the woman she used to be and the one she's becoming. And the hardest part? She doesn't like either one. You might see her pause longer before putting on makeup. You might catch her scrolling through old photos, not to remember, but to compare. That's the mirror moment when nostalgia becomes poison. For you, it's just another day. For her, it's the day she realizes she can't turn back time. And that realization cuts deeper than any insult could. From that moment on, she's not just looking at her reflection, she's negotiating with it. Maybe if I lose 10 pounds, maybe if I dress younger. It's not vanity, it's survival. Because deep down, she's not trying to look beautiful. She's trying to recognize herself again. And when a woman can no longer recognize the person in the mirror, that's when she starts searching for someone else to tell her who she is. This is where the real danger begins, not outside the marriage, but inside her mind. When the mirror stops giving her comfort, she goes looking for a new source of validation. And in today's world, that search is endless. A dopamine buffet served through screens, compliments, and attention from strangers. It starts small: a new outfit, a few selfies, a post that says, "just taking care of myself lately." And then the likes, the comments, the messages. Each one hits her brain like a shot of adrenaline. Suddenly, she feels alive again, desired again, relevant again. You see, the dopamine that once came from your love, your touch, your devotion, it doesn't hit the same anymore. You're safe, you're familiar. There's no novelty, no uncertainty, no thrill. But the validation from someone she doesn't know, that's unpredictable. And the human brain is wired to crave unpredictability. So she chases it. Not because she's evil, not because she's unfaithful, but because she's addicted to the feeling of being seen. Every compliment is a reminder she still matters. Every message is proof she's not invisible. You can tell her you love her 1,000 times, it won't land, because your love feels guaranteed. Theirs feels earned. And once she gets that first hit of external validation, she'll keep reaching for it, again and again. Not for pleasure, but for survival. Now, here's where things get darker. Once she starts chasing that feeling of being seen, the world around her becomes an echo chamber, feeding the same addiction. It's not just one thought in her head anymore. It's a movement, a message, a culture whispering, "you deserve more." It starts with her friends, not the quiet, grounded ones, the new ones. The ones who post about freedom and reclaiming their lives. They gather over wine, laughing about ex-husbands, repeating the same slogans like a mantra: "Don't settle, follow your truth, live for yourself." They call it empowerment, but what it really is permission. Permission to rewrite the story, to justify the chaos that's coming next. Then comes the algorithm. Social media learns her pain faster than you do. Her feed fills with transformation stories, glowing faces saying, "I left and found myself." Every scroll reinforces the same illusion, that happiness is just one brave decision away, and the decision is to walk away. She starts comparing her reality to other people's highlight reels. Their filtered smiles become the mirror she wants to live in. Her stable life starts to feel like a cage. Your loyalty becomes routine. Her responsibilities, oppression. And the worst part? It all feels righteous. The world applauds her rebellion and calls it healing. Nobody tells her that the women cheering her on are often broken too, just better at hiding it. This is the social contagion of our time. It doesn't spread through touch. It spreads through loneliness, comparison, and the lie that destruction equals freedom. It never starts with sex. It starts with a conversation. A coworker who listens, a trainer who compliments her effort, an old classmate who messages, "You haven't changed a bit." It feels harmless, even innocent, until it isn't. Because what she's really craving isn't the man, it's the feeling he gives her. That spark of being chosen again, that rush of unpredictability. The forbidden thrill that makes her feel alive in ways everyday life can't. Psychologists call it a fantasy attachment. It's not love, it's escapism dressed up as connection. She's not falling for him, she's falling for the version of herself that comes alive when he looks at her. The version she's been missing for years. She'll swear it's just friendship. She'll say, he understands me. But emotionally, she's already crossed the line. Her body may still be at home, but her mind has moved out. You'll feel it before you ever see it. The way she guards her phone, the way she gets defensive when you ask simple questions, the way she seems happier when she's away from you. This is the point of no return, not because she's evil, but because she's found a new drug. The drug called attention. And once she's tasted the thrill of being desired by someone who doesn't have to love her, your steady devotion will never hit her brain the same way again. Every high has a crash. Every fantasy has a price. At first, she feels unstoppable, reborn, free, glowing with the thrill of finally choosing herself. But that feeling doesn't last, because the rush she mistook for freedom was just chemistry. Weeks later, reality creeps in. The texts slow down. The man who once couldn't stop praising her starts acting human distracted, flawed, inconsistent. The fantasy she built in her head begins to crumble under the weight of real life. Now she's left with silence. The same silence she once blamed on you, only this time, there's no one to blame but herself. The dopamine fades, and what remains is emptiness. She scrolls through social media again, but now the empowerment quotes feel hollow. The world she destroyed her life for doesn't clap anymore. It moved on. She tells herself it was worth it, that she's happy, but behind the filters, she's exhausted, juggling guilt, loneliness, and the quiet terror that maybe she made a mistake she can't undo. She traded a home for a hotel room of validation. She burned a family to feel 20 again. And now, when the music stops and she's finally alone with herself, the truth hits harder than any heartbreak. She wasn't running toward love. She was running from time. And time always catches up. Here's the part most men never see coming, not because we're blind, but because we trust too deeply. You thought she was just tired, stressed, maybe distant. You told yourself, she'll come around. But the truth is, she was already halfway gone. The signs were there. The way she stopped reaching for your hand in public, the way her eyes drifted when you talked. The new perfume, she said, was just something different. You felt her pulling away, but you didn't want to believe it, because believing it would mean accepting that the woman you loved was changing into someone else. You tried to fix it. Flowers, dinners, compliments, but nothing landed because you weren't the problem, reality was. You were trying to compete with a fantasy you couldn't see, and no man wins that fight. But don't make the mistake of blaming yourself. You didn't fail her. You simply didn't understand what she was fighting inside: the fear of aging, the panic of invisibility, the grief of losing herself. You can't love someone through a war with their own reflection. You can't outgive a woman who's starving for validation from the world. What you can do is wake up, protect your peace, protect your children, see the signs before they burn through everything you've built. Because when a woman starts running from herself, you can't chase her fast enough to bring her home. Here's the truth no one wants to say out loud: time wins every fight. No cream, no compliment, no affair can stop it. But aging isn't the enemy, denying it is. Love that's built on beauty will fade with beauty. But love that's built on connection, on truth, on shared battles, on seeing each other's soul, that kind of love doesn't age. It deepens. It hardens like steel. It survives the storms biology can't. Aging doesn't destroy love, ego does. The moment we start needing validation more than understanding, we lose the very thing we're chasing. So if you're a man watching this, don't just protect your marriage, protect your mind. Know what's real. Don't let the world rewrite what loyalty means. And if you're a woman, understand, you're not running out of time, you're running out of illusions. Because when the noise fades and the filters drop, only one question remains. Was it love or just validation? If this message hits you, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and tell me what part of this truth did you feel the most. Because this isn't just content. This is a conversation every man and every woman needs to have.